Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. I'm Mike Briggs, the host of the show. And you know what show it is? If it's on Tuesday and it's after 3 o'clock, it is the Seniors Issues Show. And we looked to find a senior citizen to host the show to make it more authentic. And the staff said, Mike, you're a senior citizen. What are you talking about? So I invited another senior. Are you a senior citizen?
I am. I am right
I'm
now.
64. I'll be 64 this month.
And I'm 60.
Okay, so are we seniors?
We're seniors.
Then let's talk what we should be doing.
Let's just talk the talk.
Well, fitness. We were talking fitness before.
Absolutely. Right.
And going to the gym. And I just found out that I'm going to the gym okay, but I'm not eating okay.
Right. So
that's part of it.
And for people, that is a big part of it. It's more of a lifestyle. So it's great to go to the gym and work out. That's wonderful. But it needs to pair with a healthy diet. That's how you will get better results. Not that you wouldn't get results without it. You'll get some. But it's more beneficial if you're eating in conjunction with your workouts. And everybody's is going to look a little different. Again, it depends on your body size. If you're male, female, you have to take certain factors in consideration before you get on what I call a diet plan.
Okay. And the amount of activity and all that.
Of course, there's exactly, because it's really important to get 120 minutes of cardio per week. Okay. And then you add into that at least 3 times a week with weights. Okay. So especially for women, we need to think about weight-bearing activities. Many of us, like myself, who are small-boned, you think, oh, okay, well, she's in shape and petite or whatever. Well, it's not just about that. I also struggle with my bone density, and there are people out there, women, that do. And so the way we work out needs to help benefit us as we get older as seniors. So we want to definitely do things like with maybe a heavier weight, so we have that weight bearing, versus maybe using 1 pound weights where we're not going to get it as much. We might go up to like 5, 10 pound weights, even more, maybe not do as many repetitions, but we want to keep our bones strong. It is crucial.
I didn't know, so lifting weights can strengthen your bones.
Absolutely.
I had no idea. And women especially get the weaker bones. And
we are definitely, we have that propensity. And so in the right amount of calcium and pills and like or I should say vitamins, and some people take it in liquid form, D3. We also want to get it through our food naturally as well. All of those things are really essential as we continue this wonderful process we call aging.
Yeah. And we were talking a lot before the show, and now things you're saying, I'm going, oh my goodness, I got to think about a lot of things. So you really need to think about what you're eating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And and you were talking about also drinking, and there are people who love to have a glass of wine with dinner.
Or 2 or 3.
Okay, so then we take a look at that part of it too, because the alcohol content, you have the alcohol content and then you have the sugars that go into that. And so maybe if you're having 2 glasses of wine, you're going to pare it down to 1.5 glasses, but always have a glass of water that you're alternating with, because then maybe you won't have as much of the wine. And what you want to do is just pare down. And that's, I'm not saying, hey, completely skip something that you enjoy. Modify it and see if it makes that difference.
I do notice when red wine automatically makes you thirsty, but sometimes if I take a break, between courses or whatever, I drink some water, I don't want that wine anymore.
Right, and so that's a great way to help curb, and everybody may have a different way. I just always feel as if hydration, especially if you're looking into working out, is essential. And I tell all of my clients, I always say, think about your body like a vehicle. You're going on a trip. Do you want to leave on an empty tank, or do you want to fill up before the trip? So you need to stay filled up. Hydrate before you go into the gym, during your workout, and after. Okay. That's essential.
Yeah, I never thought of that. You got to drink before. I never thought of that.
I've had experiences where people have not, and I had a coffee. Caffeine is a dehydrator. So now you're working against what you want to do, and you're starting to run and do all these activities. You may just
I don't want that. Well, I get the big bottle of Smart Water, and I say, well, I'm going to drink that every day. I can't get through it.
And, sometimes and that's the whole thing. Sometimes we have to push a little bit harder with that. And we always find a reason why we can't, but we need to. And I always have things with me in the vehicle. I take it with me into the gym. And fortunately, even at the gym, they have the water there. So just go ahead to get what, even if you bring an empty cup, just fill it up with water and take it as you go.
ABD, always be drinking water.
Sounds like a song,
Yeah, well, in grad school I made up this thing, ABR, always be reading. When I'm in the line at the supermarket, I was reading all the time. Always be drinking the water. I do notice, I just need to put it in my way, right on my desk, and maybe have bottles in a couple spaces where I work, and just always be drinking them.
Well, what's interesting is companies now are coming out with the beverage containers that show how much, like you fill it up to like the 64 ounces, and you see how much you're actually drinking if you're meeting your mark, which is kind of fun for a lot of people because it's like they have to push themselves and to make sure that they
do
do
like a
things.
pin and mark on there. And by
You
this
can
time
do
of
it
day,
yourself.
this time of day I need to drink this. This time of day I need to drink this. So it's,
And add natural flavorings. I mean, some people can
might
put
help,
in
yeah.
some lemon or mint, or you can combine lemon and mint. There are all sorts of ways to infuse your water, which I think are wonderful.
I didn't mean to turn this into the water show, but I keep picking up on new things from Hope Rosky, by the way. She's a senior endorsed fitness trainer. In other words, she's been certified to train seniors, but also you're an ISSA certified personal fitness trainer.
Right. So ISSA has certified me as a personal fitness trainer, and then I have a specialized endorsement working specifically with seniors as well. So that has been a blessing to me, and I have wonderful clients out there who I adore. I do in-home training as well as work at Fit Garden Swim and Racket Club, and I also do virtual training as well.
Nice. We have a great talk show host here, Herb Keener. His show's called Keys to Living. I think it's like 84, and he's got to go move. Mike, you got to keep moving. You just always got to be moving. And I notice that's a problem for a lot of seniors. They just don't get up and go.
Right, and especially in this weather, it can be a challenge. So even if you're a senior and you have the internet at home, you can click on some workouts. Again, before you engage in any sort of a workout, if you've had a pre-existing condition or a health issue, it's always important to check with your doctor, because as a personal fitness trainer, I always ask my clients, is there anything that you have a concern about? Are there any health issues I should know about? And that even includes medication. It's all obviously confidential, but these things can affect a workout.
Now, there's work. I go to Planet Fitness. I don't know if we're supposed to say any gym names. You said you train people where now?
Fit Garden Swim and Racket
Yeah.
Club. That's where I'm a certified personal fitness trainer and proud of it.
Yeah. Mine's $10 is why I go there. But they have things. I don't like to walk and run because it's hard on my joints.
Right.
So I get on like a recumbent bike.
Correct.
Is that how you say it?
Recumbent bicycle.
Recumbent bike. And so I think there's something for everyone.
There is, and especially like there are people who may have arthritis, and where I work, there's a pool, and especially
Pool
in
would
the
be great.
summer, they have the water aerobics or water fitness. And during the year, you can swim year-round. The pool is heated, and there are other places that provide opportunities for that. But there's always something. There's, walking. There's the elliptical, and you don't have to put the elliptical on an incline. You can keep it level, and you don't have to go at it real hard to where.
So instead of me doing the treadmill, maybe the elliptical will be smoother on my
Elliptical
joints.
can be smoother on the joints, exactly. And you can adjust the resistance to where there's just enough challenge for you.
I don't know. I'm getting tired just thinking about it. Oh, we have some pictures, by the way, of some of the people you've been training, I
Yes,
think.
let's take a look at some
Let's
of
see
my
what we got
clients here.
This is...
Okay, so this is Charles. Charles is amazing. He is a runner. He has been running, I would say, majority of his life. And Charles comes for specifically stretching, because what happens as we get older, even though we're working out, muscles contract, and we need to keep those muscles and those fibers elongated, and balance also becomes an issue as well. So in this picture, Charles has, you can see one leg behind another and doing a side stretch.
Okay. And you do these at home, no doubt.
Exactly. And this right here is called a bird dog. And you'll hear of that in yoga. You'll also hear that maybe in Pilates classes. And this is working the core and the shoulder area too, because you'll notice that his balance there is, there's going to be pressure there, weight bearing on his right arm, the right side. And then what he'll do is he will then essentially bring the elbow towards the knee in and out, which will get the abs a little bit more and test his balance. But many times we'll just hold in a static position too.
Just like that.
Exactly.
Wow. And you make me think, every time you come, I think, this is why I need a trainer, because I'm not doing the proper stretching. I think I'm working out and getting strong and building my chest and arms, but I'm not stretching very much.
And that's important to do, because without the stretching, you may be more prone to an injury, because, again, those fibers need to be elongated.
Yeah. Elongate the fibers.
Elongate the muscle fibers. Okay, right here we have actually Charles' wife, Suzanne.
Oh, fun.
And she's, if you look at Suzanne, and even Charles, you'd say, well, they look great. Why do they need this? Well, you may look a certain way, but you may want to build muscle, which is what Suzanne is trying to do. And right there, she's doing some wall sits. And then we also do rolling wall sits. And as she progresses into each set, I add weights.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. And let me tell you, at the end, her quads are on fire.
I bet they are.
Okay. I love this picture so much. This is my client, Lynn, and her new dog, Molly. And Lynn is doing some exercises here, actually stretching, doing some back exercises. So she's shifting, bringing her legs to one side, and then she'll bring them over. And you can see that Molly's joining in the fun and doing the same thing. So look,
fun.
you can work out with your pets and have fun as well. And then here, another one of my clients is Neil. And Neil is trying to do some stretching for lower back. And right there, he's doing something called the pretzel, which is where you cross one leg over the other and then bring knees up to chest. And then he engages his lower back into that. It's like a physical therapy table, so he's engaging there. And you could do this on the floor. And I suggest a mat, because going into a hard floor is not a great deal of fun. But he just brings the knees up to the chest, and then he's stretching out that lower back and gluteal area.
Then he does the
and
other.
then we have one more of Neil right there, and that's doing the sciatic heel glide. And many people suffer from sciatica, and you'll hear people say, oh my goodness, my sciatica is really flaring up. This is a great exercise where you start with the leg in a 90-degree angle, and then you use the heel to glide up. And then you hold the stretch for about 5 seconds, and then you bring it back down, and you do that about 10 times.
Wow. I don't know if you were around then, but about a year ago, I couldn't walk. I had sciatica.
Oh,
I was
okay.
immobile.
Oh, I know,
Couldn't do
it's
anything.
miserable.
So, yeah. I'm over. I healed myself.
Yay! And a lot of that is making the core stronger, too. And that's a big part of it.
So if somebody's watching, I'm watching, so I'm going to say this. Get a trainer, somebody kind of helps you through the... I never would have thought of doing some of those things.
And it's just like, for example, when a person or little child learns how to read, they have somebody teaching them. So a certified personal fitness trainer is somebody who's going to teach you how to use the equipment appropriately, how to look at your body, because people do want to look at themselves in the mirror. That's why, you see the mirrors in the gym, because it helps to make sure that your body is in proper alignment during the workout.
Right form.
So you definitely want a certified personal fitness trainer.
Right. And, just this few talk, it's not just about fitness. Your trainer, I'm sure, would talk to you about the diet, the things we discussed. And
Yes.
It's all the big package, no doubt.
It is. And, everybody, like I say, is coming for a different reason. So it's important that you have good communication with who's ever training you. And then at some point, once you get the routine down and you feel comfortable, then you just wean away and then you can start it on your own. But there's some people who really want that trainer there throughout the whole journey, and that's great too. So it's not, again, a one size fits all. Every person, it's individualized. And that's key to remember.
I bet it is. I bet it is. Now, if somebody says, I need Hope Rosky, where do they start? How do they reach you?
I'm on Facebook under Hope S. Rosky, and you can just send me a friend request with a message explaining that you want to start in with personal fitness training. And like I say, I do it virtually, and I also do in home. I can say I'm very happy that I have a fairly full client list, but I do know some other people in the industry, but you definitely want to find somebody who has the experience and the education in this area.
Training, I can see that, and I can see, I know I'm doing some things wrong. When I've talked to you or our friend Jack Scow or different people, they say, no, be sure you're doing it like this. Maybe you're the one that told me that thing I do with the pull, that you're pushing with the elbows.
Yes,
You're
yes,
the one who
we
told
did.
me. I changed my whole life because of that.
Does
I
it
thought it
feel-
was a hand.
Well, you do. You place your
Put your
hands
hands,
here,
yeah.
and you move to the crunch. But if you pull too hard with the hands, you're really eliminating
Right.
what you want to do with the abs, and it's a glide. You want it to work as a glide.
I only do the elbows. I mean, the hands are there, but it's really
Right,
the
it's
elbows
gentle with the hands
Made all
and-
the difference.
Good.
I have amazing abs. They're just covered by this layer of fat here. That's the only problem. So I can feel them.
Well, no, I think you're being a bit too hard on yourself. And like we talked about protein and diet. And for me, a guide is so much, and this is just a general statement that I'm making, is that for women, we look at having protein 3 times a day. And we look at the inside in the palm of our hand, which is about the size of a deck of cards. And that's how much protein we want for each meal. And for a man,
Each meal.
yes, and double it. And you do, for people, it's important not just starve the body and then just eat at the end of the day, because that's what people sometimes do. They save their largest meal for the end. And that's when we're not as active.
Yeah.
We burn it more during the day than obviously we would in the evening. So at this, so my point is just make sure, again, you have a plan in action, not only just for the workout routine, but for the nutritional aspect as well.
Yeah. Well, I notice and people say, I don't like to diet. It's just deciding what you're going to eat. That's all a diet is.
Diet is not a matter of saying, oh, I'm losing weight. I look at it more as dietary needs, as how you are eating. And many people do need to take the time and effort to pre-plan their meals, and they do it at the beginning of the week, and they have their meals prepped and ready to go. Does it take time? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely.
Well, by me doing it sure helps me shop.
Yes.
Instead of just walking around throwing things in the bag. I got to get this. I need this in the house for my diet. And like I said, for me, it's not a diet. It's just a decision on what I'm going to eat.
I believe his name is Dr. Michael Pollan, and he came here to speak in Fresno, and he said if you shop around the perimeter of a grocery store, that's where all the meats and vegetables are. That's where you're going to
Going
find
up and
your
down those
fresh-
aisles gets you in trouble.
Then you're moving into the carb section.
Yeah.
Then you're moving into the things that have preservatives. So keep that in mind as you're grocery
Preservatives, yeah.
shopping, right?
Very good. Hope Rosky's our guest. Anything else our viewers need to know?
I think that, everybody, it's the new year. So people are thinking, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Make your resolutions realistic. Basically, small steps. Because sometimes when we set out these huge goals, it becomes frustrating, and then we're more than likely to give up than if we take little steps and chop away at it, and then at the end, we get what we want. So keep that in mind. And
Slow
give
and
yourself
sure.
some grace. Give yourself some grace with this, because when you first start out, you're going to feel sore maybe in places that you haven't felt sore in a while. So
Very good. We want you to come back every month. We want Hope here every month,
I
giving
can
us
do
hope
that.
for the future. Hey, go to Facebook, type Hope S. Rosky, and you'll find her.
that's right.
And you can ask free questions there.
Absolutely.
We'll be back with more of the Senior Show right after this.
Thank you.